Okay, guys, I came out with this video in an effort again to offer some constructive advice, namely for people of color, because I think there's a lot of confusion out there. Um, I am, I've concluded, along with others, that we live in a system of white supremacy that covers all areas of people activity. And today I was curious because I wanted to see what Tim Wise uh, what his views were recently, because it seems as though a person of color, specifically a black person, is killed every day. I'm getting a new name every day. Today, which is September 30th, it looks like a gentleman in Sacramento was killed, Pasadena, excuse me, whereas another gentleman was killed the day before, another one killed the day before. It seems like on a day in and day out basis, black men are being killed uh, with no accountability, no consequences. And I was kind of curious. I just wanted to see what Tim wanted to offer. I was also curious as to what Newman the questions he would ask. But I watched the full video, uh, and I was disturbed about a few things. And I'm surprised they didn't come up. But what I'm beginning to understand now, as I'm coming to a better understanding on how white supremacy functions, it's basically it's a situation where people are indoctrinated. Everyone that has access to media, whether it's print media, TV, internet, is constantly indoctrinated with white supremacist messages and imagery. Um, School teaches it, churches teach it, and it's all around you. But it's kind of almost like being in the Matrix. But it's really hard to see once you're in. You really have to be made aware of what's going on. And I thought I had a really good idea about it a month ago, 2 months ago, but as time is going on, I'm really starting to get a really clear picture on how it actually functions. Um, One gentleman who really helped to clarify things for me or to make things clearer and help me out with my confusion was the Cow Show, the concepts of white supremacy. Gus T. Renegade, who actually hosts the programming. And I'll include a link below the video for that. But on this particular episode, which I wanted to discuss today, Rock Newman mentioned he posted something on his Facebook about white people not what's it going to take for white people to care about police brutality, and he got a backlash for that from his white friends, and he said that they were offended that they would be generalized and grouped as a whole. But here's the thing that I noticed when he made mention of it. He said he was basically getting the same response from all his white friends. So if they don't want to be generalized, how come they're giving the same message or the same response to his question? If everybody's different, if everybody's independent, why are they giving a pretty similar message or a pretty similar defensive response when he's questioning their empathy when it comes to the death of black people? And if you saw the earlier video that I posted, the reason for that is white solidarity and white fragility. You'll notice I mentioned white solidarity, which I didn't have the words to articulate earlier in my life, but I've always noticed it. White people will immediately come to the defense of other white people to say that they're not racist. White people will immediately jump on the bandwagon of victim blaming or displaying apathy when a non-white person is killed. And basically, I heard the term from Robin DiAngelo, and you can feel free to check out her videos on YouTube, and she's very, very good at explaining it. As I learned from Gus, you should have a healthy suspicion of all white people since they've been indoctrinated and they actually benefit from the system of white supremacy, regardless of how sincere they appear. And the reason being is there's no accountability to hold them to any kind of work that they're doing or hold them to anything that they're promising you. They can always change at any moment, and they'll be rewarded for it. So that's why you need to have a healthy skepticism, a healthy suspicion of of people's motives when they say they're anti-racist or things of that nature, or alleging that they're anti-racist. But I was kind of shocked, and I always held Tim Wise in a high esteem. But the problem that I'm having is he is coming into 2016 with a 2000 mentality when it comes to racism and white supremacy. He rarely mentions racism or rarely identifies it as white supremacy. He doesn't acknowledge that he's been indoctrinated with those beliefs, and he rarely uses terms like white fragility, which I think he does once in this video, but in white solidarity. He doesn't mention that white people have an unwritten rule that they're supposed to back each other up, cover each other's racism, and come to the defense of their white privilege. He doesn't mention that. And I know I am fully aware that he knows this. He's aware of the terminology, he's aware of the concepts, but he doesn't articulate it. And I think that's dangerous because people of color really need to understand what's going on right now. Right now, we're in a situation where people the death of people of color, non-white people, is being normalized. People's normal instinct are being numbed, and it's happening at an increasingly rapid rate. So that if you go outside, you run, I mean, honestly, on a day in and day out basis, you do run the risk of actually losing your life because of some callous, reflexive law enforcement officer who's been conditioned to dehumanize you and see you as less than. And for him to not articulate, for Tim Wise not to expressly state that, hey, we've all been indoctrinated to buy into white supremacy, and white people specifically have an incentive to maintain it because it benefits them. For him not to say that, I think, is just a little disingenuous, and I think it's dangerous. So, and he should have pointed out that the response to Rock Newman's post was pretty consistent for people that claim not to be wanted to be generalized. And that should let you know that they share a similar mindset. There's some great books, from white authors that you may want to check out. One from Joe Fegan, which is Two-Faced Racism, is an excellent book. I highly recommend anybody that's not white to read it because it'll help to explain what's going on. It will help to explain the apathy. They're conditioned to dehumanize people through racist jokes and stereotypes on a regular basis. They do it on the backstage, and they present a different face in the front stage. So that's why it's called Two-Faced Racism. Also a great book. All the books from Robin DiAngelo are great, and Jacqueline Battalora. Tim Wise, his books don't really cut it anymore. I think they may have been sufficient for a short period of time, but really it's really dangerous right now. And he is very educated and very well informed on the nature of racism and white supremacy, and the fact that seems like he's holding back a little bit, and I can't help but think that that's dangerous for people that are not white. Also, Jane Elliott, she's pretty good as well, but she keeps stating that it's ignorance. But if you want to claim ignorance in that people have been indoctrinated with misinformation, that's fine. But I think it's disingenuous to say it's ignorant, meaning that they may want to change if they find out proper information. Meaning that if they find out accurate information about the nature of the system, that they're willing to change, which personally I haven't seen evidence of that. And if you have, please feel free to share it, but I haven't. Also, I posted a little response in the comments for this video, and people were posting, or some troll was posting that, hey, black people are racist, Mexican people are racist. And I asked him a question. I said, okay, who controls every single industry in society when it comes to education, the military, finance, labor, employment? What group controls all those things? And in every single institution, white people control it. So no other group, regardless of their feelings towards other people, they're not able to impact their lives negatively. So save all that, this group can be racist and that group can be racist, because they can't impact the lives. No amount of racial animus that black people have can keep a white person from getting a loan, from getting a house, from getting a job. So I don't debate racism with white people anymore. It's a fruitless effort. Plus, they have no incentive to be honest about it. But I just had to share that because I think things are really crucial right now, and I think people need to be fully aware.